Football, full talent dominates European fields. Episode 21, when Su Chen and Flores just came out of the office. The team members all gathered around. Su, what did the boss reward you? Designated bonuses, and contract extensions, right? Su, I gave you a bonus, do you have to invite the whole team to dinner? No, it's too cheap to eat, he will take our whole team in the future and win a few games in a row. All the team members had smiles on their faces. In their opinion, Su Chen has gained 100% trust today. Especially in the last game, when Su Chen came off. The chaos of the scene impressed them all. Without Su Chen's midfield, the Westerners could not even form a decent attack. This is still a match against Sevilla. If they meet Real Madrid and Barcelona, they will only be pressed to the ground and rubbed. Therefore, the importance of Su Chen is self-evident. Originally, Su Chen didn't want to tell them the truth. After all, if you tell them the truth, it will definitely affect the morale of the whole team. Flores, on the other hand, is a man who can't hold his breath. I saw his gloomy face, his brows deeply locked, and said, I'm afraid that the days when you and Su played together, there is not much left, cherish it, at least, you're still teammates. In a word, all the team members were stunned. They looked at each other and all panicked. Coach, what do you mean? Su, is there another team that sent you an offer? Are you leaving? Didn't you also say that you want to help us in European competitions and play in European competitions with us? Didn't you also say that you want to win a European title? Su, Mr. Flores, please tell us the truth. All the team members panicked. Su Chen is leaving. For the current Westerners, it is definitely a bombshell. Today, Su Chen has achieved absolute trust in the entire team of Westerners. And many team members already regard him as the same existence as the core. Outcome. Su Chen actually wanted to leave at this time? This is abandonment, betrayal of their entire team. Su Chen smiled awkwardly. Mr. Flores is right, at least we are still teammates now. As for what will happen in the future, no one will predict. Let's cherish the present, cherish every day of the game. But believe me, I didn't betray the team, I didn't betray anyone. It's just that I was betrayed, that's all. Okay, let's go to training and face the next game. After Su Chen finished speaking, I ran straight towards the training ground. For the Westerner boss, it is necessary to sell things for himself. Su Chen didn't want to say too right. Despite the fog released by Flores, Su Chen understood what he meant. Plainly, it is the head coach who wants to use the pressure of the whole team to threaten the boss of the Westerners to keep Su Chen. However, they didn't know much about Su Chen's character. Once such a thing happened, how could Su Chen be willing to stay? As long as there are teams in the 5 major European leagues to make offers, Su Chen will definitely choose to join and leave the Spaniard without hesitation. A whole morning. The training of the whole team was very dull. It seems that there is something hidden in everyone's heart. Afternoon. The news that Su Chen was about to transfer spread all over the place. At the end of the season, the core of Westerners, Su Chen, may face a transfer decision. A piece of news has just been sent. It detonated Twitter, hundreds of comments. It's all about this matter, giving evaluations. More importantly, the content of the news was completely in the office with Su Chen in the morning. The Westerner boss had the same conversation as Su Chen. Obviously, there are insiders who leaked this news. And try to put pressure on the Westerners in this way. It's simply disgusting. Don't the top Westerners have brains? Why sell Su? He's the core of the team now, really selling him, is it to wait for relegation? I really don't understand the operation of the Westerners' high level, so people can't understand it. Oh my god, Su Chen's technique is so good, his talent is so high, if he doesn't keep it for good training, he has to sell it. The high level of the Westerners go to eat, you will definitely regret selling Su Chen. It's really a mystery, I don't understand what the boss of the Westerners thinks. Cashing out? As soon as a player kicks out, sell it immediately to make money? What operation? Lost the powder, I will be a fan of Su Chen in the future, where he goes, where is my home team? I like Su Chen's ball style, very delicate, very appreciative, and can succeed wherever I go. Yesterday I was still speculating whether Westerners would sell Su Chen after the end of the season and come true so soon. Ha ha ha. Laugh at me, the Westerner boss, get out quickly. Sell Su Chen? Westerner high level, are you crazy? Westerner boss, get out, we in Catalonia do not welcome you, get out. A trace of residual sun covered the sky. After the training, Su Chen finished taking a bath. Just walked back to the dressing room to get dressed and go home. Hey, Su, the matter of your transfer has already been sent news. Now there is a lot of public opinion on Twitter, maybe it's good for you. Old Captain Diego came over. He was the person in the whole team who least wanted Su Chen to leave. From the day when Su Chen just joined the team, Diego took great care of him. Now, when I heard that the boss of the Westerners was going to sell him, Diego was sad. Su Chen picked up the phone and glanced at the news, as well as the content inside. I was secretly surprised. The content turned out to be exactly the same as the conversation in the office. On the surface, though, he didn't show anything. Su Chen just smiled gently. Just as I was about to speak, my phone rang. It's an unfamiliar phone number. Su Chen apologetically nodded at Diego. Go to the side and connect the phone. Hey, hello, is it Mr. Su Chen? Oh, let's introduce yourself first. My name is Mendez, I am an agent, do I have time to meet? Mendez? Su Chen was slightly startled. The name seems familiar? Episode 22, A Cafe. A slanting sun stained the sky red. Spill over the streets. Cars passed quickly, and pedestrians on the sidewalk, talking and laughing, walked side by side. And in the cafe, Su Chen and Mendez sat in front of the window seat. Without waiting for Su Chen to speak first, Mendez handed over a business card and said with a smile, Hello, Mr. Su Chen, I'm glad you agreed to meet me. Likewise, I am proud to sit here with you. Let's introduce myself first, my full name is Jorge Mendez. It's an agent, currently with Cristiano Ronaldo, Di Maria, Pepe, and Marcelo. Of course, I'm not trying to show off my capital to you. I hope to use these to impress you and join my team. Mendez is a very shrewd and capable person. For his name, he remembered it before Su Chen came to the cafe. The whole of football, whether it is the earth where he once lived, or in the current world, Mendez is thunderous. As long as his name is mentioned in football, there is no one who has not heard of it. There are even quite a few players who can cooperate with him. Mendez always has a lot of publicity to send players to the big teams and get them what they want. Of course, not everyone can work with Mendez. He values the potential of a player more. If there is potential, he will not skimp on his request for cooperation. However, if there is no potential, he will never say a word to you. In Su Chen's view, Mendez's real awesomeness is not that he can send players to those big teams. It's about making those players more commercially valuable. Similar to Ronaldo, his commercial value is far greater than his player value. Su Chen nodded with a smile. Mr. Mendez's reputation, I have long heard of it. It's a pleasure to meet you here. It's exciting to join your team and work with you, but with my current worth and fame, I'm afraid it's far from comparable. Nuanunuo, Su, De Juan's latest player value, has been sent. Before this, he was only worth 1.5 million euros. Even if it is 1.5 million euros, it will overflow some, in fact, 1 million euros, you can complete the transaction. But when you're playing against Barca and Sevilla, now your worth has increased more than tenfold. Of course, with my experience as an agent, these are definitely not your real worth, your technology, your talent, far more than these, and even in my opinion, it cannot be measured by money and worth. Especially this afternoon's news, whether that's true or not, I think you already have the idea of leaving Westerners. If you want to go, leave the team. I think I can help you and help you go to any team you want. How about it, you can consider our cooperation. Even, I will help you become a top superstar like Ronaldo. When the words fell, Mendez looked at Su Chen with a smile. For him, he has shown enough temptation and sincerity. First of all, the name Mendez is a well-known existence in football. How many players dream of working with him? And then there were his temptations. Under Mendez's operation, Su Chen can even go to any team he wants to go to. Mendez can even turn him into another Cristiano Ronaldo. How many more players don't even dare to think about this? However, nowadays, it is difficult for others to compare to heavenly things. It was smashed solidly on the head of this nearly 18-year-old Su Chen. If, at this time, someone is sitting next to Su Chen, he will definitely be advised not to hesitate. Choosing to work with Mendez, his football career is half successful. The remaining half depends on his own efforts and talents. After a long time, Su Chen nodded with a smile. Mr. Mendez, it is a heartwarming thing to be able to cooperate with you. Of course, for me personally, too. However, before we sign the contract, I have one more request. Oh? You can say it and listen, as long as it's not excessive, I can try to be satisfied. Mendez's eyes flashed, and he nodded and said. It's simple, let me finish this season and give my current teammates a perfect answer. After all, after I came to Westerners, they took good care of me. It has nothing to do with the boss of the Westerners, they are my teammates, no matter what the boss of the Westerners has done to me. I shouldn't be angry with my teammates, let alone make them feel bad. So, wait until the end of the season and help me get in touch with the next home. The words fell. Mendes took a deep look at Su Chen. In my heart, I couldn't help but feel a little appreciation for him. Obviously, this Asian young man in front of him made Mendes like it. Su Chen is not a mercenary player. Not to mention an ungrateful person who immediately throws off his face. He is more emotional, and can distinguish between right and wrong. The mistakes made by the boss should not have been borne by his teammates and fans. Mendes nodded. Yes, this is indeed a good condition. The mistakes made by the owner really should not be borne by the fans and players. I support your decision and I won't contact any of your next homes until the end of the season. Including any offers, it will not disturb the rest of your airport game. Hearing this, Su Chen smiled. Then I wish us a happy future cooperation? Of course, our cooperation will be very pleasant, it will definitely be. Both men got up at the same time and shook hands. The details of the contract later, the two people discussed for a while. When Su Chen left from the cafe, it was already completely dark outside. And he didn't have the choice to let Mendes send him home. Instead, he carried his backpack and walked through the lively streets. Walked back to my home. Episode 23, the news that Su Chen signed with gold agent Mendes spread all over the place. Just the next morning, the headlines on the front pages of major media outlets are all overwhelming news. When those big teams, old giants, when they see this news, they were all shocked. Real Madrid president's office. Florentino sat there, looking at the newspaper in his hand. The expression on his face could not calm down for a long time. It's crazy. Mendes, he's a madman, he would sign a contract with an Asian kid? What the hell is wrong with him? No, it's not in his style, it's not his habit of doing things. This must be fake news, it must be. Florentino shook his head repeatedly. The veracity of the news was questioned. Actually, this is not surprising. Mendes' reputation in football has always been well known. And with his ability, his players, which one is not a superstar or a big name? Without absolute certainty, he wouldn't risk going an 18-year-old player. On top of that, the youngster is also a player from Asia with yellow skin, black hair, and black eyes. This is the complete opposite of Mendes' style of doing things. Even, in European football, there is no big-name agent would do such crazy things. After all, signing an Asian player is a risky thing in itself. If he doesn't play anything in the future, it will be a stain on the agent's life. It's like leaving a bad mark on the archives. Therefore, no agent would do this, unless Su Chen was already 25 or 6 years old. And there are also good talents, ball skills, maybe it is worth considering them. After signing a contract with Su Chen, what benefits will it bring? But that's how Mendes really signed up. Signed the Asian player, an 18-year-old player. Mr. President, I think Mendes will do this, he must have smelled something. Otherwise, his old fox would never have made such an easy move. I think in the next step, Mendes will sell to other big-name teams for Su Chen. Although Su Chen's report card is not so colorful, there are only 2 games in La Liga alone. However, I think the results of these 2 games alone are enough to make some big-name teams willing to pay for him. In addition, I have also received news that Juventus and Inter in Serie A are ready to make an offer to Mendes. The reason is this news, the cooperation between Mendes and Su Chen. In addition, there is the Grand Paris of Ligue 1, and it is also ready to ask Su Chen's price. The Blue Moon of the Premier League, as well as Fox City, and the Red Army Liverpool, are all asking about Su Chen's future. There are still 2 months to go, and the summer window will open. I think that with the addition of Mendes, Su Chen's value will probably increase a lot. The most important thing is that in the remaining few games, if Su Chen can come up with even better results, he's definitely going to be a target for a lot of big names in the transfer market this summer. Real Madrid's directors, managers, scouts. They all came to the old lord's office. Judging from their meaning, they all seem to be encouraging the old lord to join the team competing for Su Chen. Because as long as the old lord is willing. After taking Su Chen, it has reached more than 80%. After all, Mendes and Real Madrid have worked together for many years. His players, such as Cristiano Ronaldo, Pepe, and Marcelo, still play for Real Madrid. The previous Angel Di Maria went to Grand Paris. A couple of transfers, all with Mendes running. At present, Real Madrid still maintain close ties with Mendes. Therefore, if the old lord offered to Mendes, they wanted Su Chen. With Real Madrid's relationship with Mendes, and this old giant, Mendes will not refuse. Su Chen will not refuse the opportunity to enter Real Madrid. Therefore, everyone hopes that Su Chen can be introduced to Real Madrid. Let this supernova play for Real Madrid. However, the old lord naturally had his considerations. His brows were deeply locked, and he didn't speak. After a long time, he said, "Have you heard any movement at Barca at present, Barca?" And it didn't. In fact, for Barca, they are not in a hurry to need players like Su Chen. They have Andres Iniesta, Rakitic and Mascherano, and in the midfield position, they don't need players like Su Chen. Although Iniesta is old, just like Harvey who left before. However, they think they still have Messi, and Neymar and Suarez. They are invincible. The words fell. The old lord glanced at them with a smile. Shaking his head, he said, "Obviously, in our team, there are also Modric, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Kroos. Our midfield is just as strong and we don't need an 18-year-old to strengthen our midfield. At least, I'm not going to risk signing an Asian player who is only 18 years old yet. Wait and see, although Mendes has completed his cooperation with him. However, I need to wait and give me more time. Let him use his strength to prove his worth." When the old lord finished speaking, several other high-ranking people all looked at each other and shrugged. Obviously, the old lord did not directly refuse to introduce Su Chen to Real Madrid. It's just that he is very cautious and needs more time to investigate. And La Liga, the remaining few games come. The opponents that Westerners have to face are all powerful. Atletico Bilbao, Girona, Vallecano, as well as Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid. They are all opponents who give Westerners a headache. Especially Atletico, Real Madrid. In front of these two traditional powerhouses, it is basically impossible for them to score. At least, for a lot of fans at the moment. Even if it is a Westerner who is Su Chen, he can't think of getting even a single point. Therefore, the remaining few games are the best test for Su Chen. Meanwhile, Espanyol training ground. Early in the morning, many fans surrounded the place. They even held up signs and demonstrated to the top of the team. Su Chen stays, the boss gets out of the Westerners. Episode 24, Espanyol CEO office. The person sitting here is also a Chinese. Everything about the club is handled by him. Early in the morning, he had just arrived at the office to prepare for the day's work. Dang dang. There was a knock on the door. In. Yimao glanced up and did not feel strange. A great deal of work every day, from the moment he opened his eyes, had already begun. The door opened and a young female secretary walked in. "Boss, sporting director Catuela wants to see you." "Oh? Then let him in, okay." The secretary nodded, turned and closed the door and walked out. It didn't take a moment longer, when the door opened again. I saw Catuara walk in, and his face did not look very good. Yimao saw it and smiled a little surprised. "Why, didn't you sleep well last night?" "No, it's not that I didn't sleep well, it's that I didn't sleep at all." "Yi, did you see the news? Now things are making a fuss, and many fans have already come to our stadium, even our official account was blown up on Twitter. I think this matter has to be dealt with, otherwise." Without waiting for Catuara to finish speaking, I saw Yimao come out from behind the desk and personally made him a cup of tea and sat on the sofa. Smelling the strong tea aroma from Yimao's face, there was no trace of anxiety. On the contrary, he also showed a look of enjoyment. For a long time, when Catuara finished speaking, he looked back at Yimao. He smiled. "How, finished talking?" "Yes, this problem is serious, I think we have to find a solution." "Catuara, you are too sensitive. Things haven't gotten out of control at all. We should be clear about sports, especially football. A team with its own culture and rules. Of course, the fans are the foundation of the team, they have reasons to like this team, and they also have reasons to like a player. A player should have played for the team. Whether it's in Real Madrid or in Barca, even in us Westerners, it's the same thing. No player is above the team. Ronaldo can't, Messi can't, Su Chen. He can't. As the management of the team, we should calm down when anything happens. How could those fans be confused? I think the meaning of yesterday's boss is already obvious. Su Chen is indeed very good, he is very talented. But he has to be sold in exchange for the team's funds. And the boss's biggest wish is to sell him back to the Dragon Country, and let the Dragon Kingdom naturalize him and fight on behalf of the Dragon Country. Of course, this is just a wish of the boss, and where he is willing to go depends on the personal opinion of the players. However, this summer window to let him leave the Westerners is a sure thing. Those fans are willing to make trouble, let them make trouble. When the people are gone, they will naturally have enough trouble, you know what I mean? After Yimao finished speaking, Katwara looked deeply at him. Until this moment, he seemed to understand the Chinese boss's intentions. To put it bluntly, the Chinese boss wants to sell Su Chen back to the Dragon Kingdom. This not only allows you to get a large transfer fee. Moreover, it can also contribute to the Dragon Kingdom. Su Chen is an excellent player, and many people know it now. If he can naturalize Su Chen and represent the Dragon Kingdom in battle. In a way, Chinese bosses can also get support from the state. If that's the case, it's not just pure football. There are more benefits involved. Katwara's face gradually became solemn. Yi, as the director of football, I am grateful that you were the ones who joined us and gave us great support when the Westerners were in trouble. However, I would say that football is pure, a sporting event. Its influence is deeply concerned by the world. I don't want anyone to tarnish it, and I don't want anyone to take advantage of football. My advice is, keep Su, he can bring more wins to our team. Let's raise our eyebrows. If I have to sell him, I think I will prepare a resignation letter and submit it to the boss. When Katwara said this, Yimao did not have a surprised expression on his face. Picked up the teacup, took a sip, and nodded with a smile. Katwara, if I'm not mistaken, you need the job right now, at least in the short term, it is. If you choose to leave Westerners, do you think you could find a better job? Then I bless you. If you are not sure, I still advise you, take back what I just said, I will treat it as if I have never heard anything. Don't ruin your future for a player. The players are gone, we can still bring in better players. But if you go, your family, your expenses. The words did not fall. Katwara's face became ugly. That's right, his home has been a mess lately. The mother is sick, all 3 children are in school, and the wife's job has just been lost. There is also a house that he needs to maintain every month. He needs a lot of money to maintain his current family situation. Once he lost his job, he lost his financial resources. This already bad family was covered with another layer of frost. Unless he has now found his next home, or else. Katwara composed his face, shrugged his shoulders, and said, that's right, Yi, you won, I really need this job. However, I still protest for you and the boss's approach. If you want to make the team go further, it is necessary to leave Su Chen. He is a player, an extremely talented player, he should have a bright future, not send back to the Dragon Kingdom and ruin his future. That's it. After saying these words, Katwara walked straight out of the office. Bang! With a loud bang, the door was slammed shut. And Yimao sat on the sofa and smiled contemptuously. Obviously, Katwara's words did not change any of his thoughts. Episode 25. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the training reward. Get attribute chest X1. Get character template X1. On the training ground. The morning training has just ended. As usual, Su Chen was ready to go to the dressing room to rest. Outcome. A cold tone. Let him be slightly startled. Soon, a smile appeared on his face. Hey, Su, I heard you and Mendez have signed a contract? At this moment, Baptistin ran over. Now this news is no secret. On the night he and Mendez had just reached a partnership, the news was already overwhelming. Obviously, all this news was made by Mendez. His intention is to create momentum. Let Su Chen's worth continue to turn up. In this way, when Su Chen transfers, he can also get a good price. Mendez label, though a football agent. In fact, he is closer to the character of a businessman. Anything he does is linked to interests, and he will never do anything without interests. Su Chen nodded with a smile, yes, it has already been signed, so, you have to leave the summer window? Baptistin's face showed a trace of reluctance. Su Chen glanced back at him. These days, he gets along well with his teammates. When they heard that Su Chen was going to leave the Spaniards, all of them felt regret and reluctance for his departure. After all, Su Chen's strength was there. What team wouldn't want to have a thigh to lean on? However, now that this thigh is about to leave the team, it is normal for the players to have reluctance. Su Chen shrugged, maybe? I didn't pay attention to that. Maybe I won't discuss it until the end of the season. Hearing this, Baptistin nodded. Together with Su Chen, he walked towards the dressing room. In the days that followed, the transfer turmoil has not stopped, but has intensified. Every day on the sports news, you will see things about which team offer to the Spaniards and want to ask for the purchase of Su Chen, which is true and false, so that many people can't tell the difference. Even the Bundesliga's giants Bayern have extended olive branches to Su Chen. As well as Juve, Inter, and A in Serie A, all of them had a lot of scandals with Su Chen. And which one is true, fans don't know. What is obvious, though? Su Chen's transfer has already earned enough traffic for those media and newspapers. Friday night. The training has just ended. Inside a restaurant. Su Chen and Mendes sat at a dining table. Su. You know what, the news about you has not stopped this week. I think this is a good thing, at least your fame is already greater. Mendes smiled and took a sip of red wine. Obviously, he is satisfied with his momentum and has indeed received good results. Su Chen took a bite of steak and nodded. Mendes, how many clubs are there now? Ask me about it. Huh? Su, don't forget the agreement between us, don't make me break my word, you said you won't care about any transfers until the end of the season. So, forget about these things. Focus on the game, tomorrow Westerners versus Athletic Bibar, you have to perform well. Add some chips for your future. The words fell. Su Chen smiled and nodded. Mendes, I really don't know how to thank you. Thank me? Why thanks, this is my job, you as my player. Creating a good image for you is one of my jobs. However, where your future will be is up to you. All I can do is to send you to a bigger platform on top of your ability. Su, devote yourself to the game, don't worry about other off-court matters. Don't even ask, it won't do you any good. Mendes' reminder made Su Chen nod. He is indeed a very professional broker. In his world, there doesn't seem to be anything worth his interest in other than work. The afternoon of the next day. Saturday. The sun is shining and the wind is fine. El Prat Stadium, home of Espanyol. 40,000 seats, all filled with fans. Especially the fans on the Westerner side all pulled up a banner. There are several big words written on it: Su Chen stays, Boss Chen get out of the West. This makes today's game full of bad fun. Fans of their own home would even hang such banners. Obviously, the Chinese boss of the Westerners does not seem to be unpopular. Meanwhile, the Dragon Kingdom is far away on the other side of the ocean. It seems that today's game is also very important. 3 o'clock at night. The two explanations remain impassioned. Many fans stayed up late in front of the TV and watched the live broadcast of the game. Today's game is very interesting, Westerners' own fans actually hung up such banners. Yes, such a thing is rarely seen, and it is indeed rare for their own fans to support a player so much. Well, without further ado, let's first introduce the situation of the two teams today. The two teams we played against today are all from La Liga. The home team is Espanyol, and the team that came to challenge is Athletic Bilbao, who are ranked 8th in La Liga. Their style of play is relatively tougher, in the league ranking, to be higher. Obviously, they are here to compete for a place in Europe. If you had changed to before, the Spaniards would not have a good chance of winning against an opponent like Biba. Especially in the later stages of the league, every game counts. If you can get 3 points, you can consolidate your position. Similarly, it will be closer to the European war. However, today's Westerners can be expressed in the past. In their team, there is a talented player, and I am proud to say that he is from Asia, and he is from our dragon country, is a young Chinese general. Su Chen. In the previous 2 games, Su Chen has handed over 2 perfect report cards, drawing Barca and beating Sevilla. Won a valuable 4 points for the Westerners, so will they win again from Biba today? Okay, with the referee's whistle blowing, the game begins. Episode 26. Honk. With a whistle, the game began. The Westerners sit at home and still tee off first. The moment when the football fell at Su Chen's feet. The players opposing Athletic Bilbao were all terrified. Look at the last match, Westerners versus Sevilla. Today Su Chen is a half-field metronome. Both on the offensive end and on the defensive end. He can show enough to frighten people. Especially when it comes to entering the palace. His terrifying dribbling, passing can make opponents a nightmare. Before Athletic Bilbao played Espanyol, their head coach has studied Su Chen dozens of times. It is to find some targeted ways to restrain Su Chen. Pity. Dozens of times keep watching the game. They didn't really find a way to limit Su Chen. This made their whole team feel powerless. Su Chen's existence is the same as Barca's Messi. As long as they are on the field, the rhythm will always be carried away by them. Really. When Su Chen just got the ball, he directly accelerated towards the opposite half. At the same time, Su Chen's teammates were not eager to ask him for the ball. On the contrary, on the left and right, people appeared in the position where they should have appeared, answering Su Chen. Damn, what are you all doing stunned? Stop him, Biba's defender shouted at the front. Until this moment, they came back from the stunned state they had just had. Immediately, I saw 2 Biba team members, directly towards Su Chen. That's right, that's the only way they studied it for a few days before they came up with it. The only way to limit this Asian kid is to get him injured and unable to continue playing. Despite their malicious fouls, it can lead to a yellow or even a red card. However, as long as Su Chen is shoveled down, this game will be in their own hands again. Against a squad like Espanyol, there is not much of a threat. As long as they play steadily, it is not difficult to win the game calmly. Crash! Crash! The sound of rubbing the lawn came from the left and right. Su Chen, who was running wildly with the ball, glanced at it with the afterglow from the corner of his eye. It's not just these two Biba players. On the opposite side of him, two other people have blocked the passing lines of their teammates. Once the ball is transferred, it will inevitably be cut off. In an instant. Teammates around, as well as Coach Flores on the sidelines. They all looked at Su Chen nervously. I want to see how he will handle this ball at this time. The next moment. I saw Su Chen clamping the football back and forth with both feet. When the two people of the sliding shovel came close to him, Su Chen picked it lightly and picked the football in front of him by the way. The football drew a perfect arc, directly past Su Chen from behind, and landed at his feet. A rainbow move easily gave way to Biba's two players. Suddenly, everyone else breathed a sigh of relief. And the fans in the stands erupted into enthusiastic cries. Beautiful rainbow is amazing, in the face of two players defending, can still be so calm. Using this trick, Su Chen's ball skills have reached the point of being unfathomable. In the live broadcast of the Dragon Kingdom match, the commentary deeply admired Su Chen's skills just now. Even the voice of the voice changed tone. And in the next moment, Su Chen on the green field divided the ball with one kick. The football fell at the feet of Reyes. As a veteran of the team, Reyes' technique is not as perverted as Su Chen. However, both vision and prediction are much stronger young people. These are valuable experiences that he has accumulated little by little on the field. When Reyes led some distance ahead, directly on a long pass, transferred to the other end, Baptistin quickly stopped the football steadily. Immediately saw a Biba player who wanted to step forward and block. Baptistin looked around. I saw that in Biba's restricted area, only Baptist Horta was alone, waiting there. It seems that the continuous transfer and attack just now made the Westerners' players not be able to keep up immediately. And this just illustrates a shortcoming. The player awareness of the big teams, and the gap between some small teams. Just when Baptistin paused slightly, hesitating to give the ball there. Suddenly, I saw that outside the restricted area, a person beckoned to him. Looking back, it was Su Chen who ran up with him. Baptistin's heart immediately had some more confidence. Several consecutive feints will be the defender of his player, to shake over later. Directly came an inverted triangle. Didn't pass the ball into the box. Instead, he gave out towards the outside of the restricted area. This ball from Baptistin, how do I? No, it was sent to Su Chen? Oh my god, the football is back at Su Chen's feet. And still outside the great forbidden zone. Shake past a defender, continue to lead forward. Shake another defensive player, get up. Can this kick break the deadlock on the field? What the? Ha ha ha, Su Chen teased all the defenders of the opposing team, and he gave the ball to Baptist Horta, who had already been ambushed in the penalty area. Shot. Goal. The ball went in, a beautiful blast. The football hit the top right corner of the goal, so that the goalkeeper did not have time to adjust his position, and watched the football shoot into the goal. The Spaniards finally broke the deadlock through skillful cooperation. Although it was not Su Chen who scored the goal, this goal can be credited to Su Chen's body. If it weren't for his continuous feints, he would have deceived the opposing goalkeepers and defenders. And a straight ball like a scalpel, this ball will not come so early. The commentary gets crazy. The fans at the scene were even more carnival. All the Westerners fans in the room, they all shouted the name of one person. Su Chen. Su Chen. Su Chen. Episode 27, Jansen, remember what I said before? In football, there are no absolute strong people, no pure weak teams. Judging from the lineup, Biba is much stronger than the Westerners. However, just because the Westerners have a Su Chen, they can score a goal in just 15 minutes of the opening game. Even if it is a mediocre striker, with Su Chen's assist, he may be able to get this season's golden boot. Inside the live broadcast room, the commentary is constantly showing off his language. The other person who was with him was just sitting there and talking, Match sight. The Westerners who led by one goal were particularly excited. Only the head coach on the sidelines, Flores, had a gloomy face. It seems that the team that just scored is not the team he brought out. His gaze has always been locked on Su Chen's body. The eyes change from time to time, some reluctant, some regretful, and even more unwilling. Su Chen, although he is a Chinese player. Coming from Asia, Flores did have a lot of prejudice against him before. However, Su Chen used his ability to conquer him. For the current Westerners, Su Chen is the core of the team. And after a few games, everyone can see it. With Su Chen and without Su Chen, Westerners are completely different teams. It's just that he hasn't figured it out until now. Why did the owner of the team insist on selling Su Chen? Honk. The whistle sounded again. Biba drove the ball and did not rush to attack. Instead, he stuck in his own half, back and forth. The backwardness of a ball made their mentality calm down. Before the start of the game, all they wanted was to score a goal ahead of the Westerners. So, at the beginning of the game, they seemed a little impatient. It wasn't until they were one goal behind that they returned to calm. Su, defense is not your strong point, leave it to us later. You just need to comb the midfield, try to get the ball as far as you can, and pass it to the attacking players in front. I think they're going to be forced to recover a ball now. We're going to keep this one ball before halftime. At this moment, when Reyes ran past Su Chen, he quickly lowered his voice and covered his mouth. Gently said a few words to Su Chen. Anyone can see that Biba, who conceded a goal first, will be eager to recover the lost ball, and now it seems that they are in no hurry. Soon, they will launch a fierce attack. And Su Chen's biggest role is not defense. In Su Chen's personal attributes, his defense is relatively low, only 31. So, Reyes, who is the second captain on the field. At a glance, you can see the kick behind Biba. It was also by the way that a protective measure was made for Su Chen. As long as Su Chen's physical strength is not too large. And there was no malicious foul that resulted in injury. They can win this game in 70%. But if Su Chen had any accidents and was forced to leave, the solution of the Westerners is difficult to say. Think of the Sevilla FC he faced before, in the 10 minutes after Su Chen came off. The Westerners were fiercely tested by Sevilla. If it weren't for Diego's attack, he would have defused the attack again and again. The score of 2-1 will definitely not last until the end. Even with only 10 minutes left in the game, Sevilla had a chance to bring the score back. Su Chen lightly nodded the penalty. He did not rush forward to force it. As Biba kept falling his feet, they slowly left their own half and approached the opposite side. Until this time, Reyes, who was a midfielder. Pressure was applied to Biba's players. But just before he arrived, Biba's players suddenly increased the speed of their attack. I made a delicate little cooperation with the teammates around me. It was easy to pass in front of Reyes. The next moment, Biba's players quickly approached the Westerners' penalty area. The defenders of the Westerners all had solemn faces. They retreated again and again until they couldn't retreat, and then they remembered to step forward and steal. Unfortunately, it was too late. Biba is not only a team cooperation, tacit understanding, even personal skills, better than Westerners. After a few exquisite matches, passing. With one kick, the football was knocked into the box. Bang! The Biba player, who had already been in ambush in the box, jumped high, made a powerful header, and shot straight to the goal. This moment, everyone lifted their hearts up. When Diego jumped, he grabbed the ball. When Lianren landed with the ball, he pressed the ball under him with his body. Suddenly, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. A few guards stepped forward with relief and patted Diego on the shoulder. When Diego got up from the ground, at a glance, he saw that Su Chen was asking him for a ball. Diego didn't even think about it, threw the football towards Su Chen, and threw it over. Biba's attack just now, scared out of a cold sweat. Fortunately, Diego's performance is super god. It seems that after today's game, the whole team will have to thank Diego well. Hey, Diego handed the ball to Su Chen. Ha ha ha, Biba's player, once again became nervous. That's the fear of being dominated, right? As long as Su Chen holds the ball, the opposing players will be afraid. The commentary in the live broadcast is explaining the game. Truly. Just like he said. When the football fell at Su Chen's feet again, Biba's players all became nervous. They stared at Su Chen tightly, watching his every move. Even a turn will make them nervous. Fortunately, Su Chen was not in a hurry to attack. Instead, he stayed in midfield and combed the team's attack. When the Westerners' players, all running through the half, infiltrated near the Biba penalty area, Su Chen's eyes flashed with a sparkle. The corners of the mouth outline a shallow arc. This scene happened to be accurately captured by the camera. It's over. Su Chen's smile means that it is a signal that the Westerners are about to counterattack, right? Episode 28. The counterattack of the Westerners was once again launched, with Su Chen as the center of the attack. The attacking players all quickly infiltrated Biba's penalty area, and they are all waiting for Su Chen's pass. For them now, it seems that they have long been accustomed to Su Chen's feeding cakes. Even in the words of Dragon Kingdom fans, even if there is a dog on a leash in front of the door, as long as it is a cake fed by Su Chen, it can easily hit the ball into the goal. Although such a metaphor is indeed an exaggeration, but, for a lot of fans, that's the truth. Whether it's Baptistan or Baptist Horta. Before Su Chen showed his brilliance, they were all not very good forwards. The season stats aren't that dazzling. However, since Su Chen joined the Westerners, he only needed to pass the ball to their feet. They can both easily put the football into each other's goals, so that their value soared all the way. Even the entire team of players has become less mediocre. Okay, now it's 30 minutes into the game. Su Chen dribbled the ball, and once again approached Biba's penalty area. It's not good. 3 players come together to surround Su Chen and see how he should deal with it. In the past, Su Chen swung 3 people in a row and came to the periphery of the great forbidden area. Will he hand over the ball? Shot. Pretty, a kick in the sky, if this ball can give. Goal, goal. Ha ha ha, Su Chen's sudden cold arrow caught Biba's goalkeeper off guard. Almost everyone thinks that Su Chen will put the ball in the penalty area, even his teammates think so. Unexpectedly, he was unexpected, and directly kicked the flying immortal outside the forbidden area. Scored a beautiful goal. 2-0, with 10 minutes left in the first half, the Westerners extended their lead again. Ha ha ha. Biba player was completely stunned. All of them were dejected, and they all said they didn't understand. The Westerners, who were suppressed by them before, can now score 2 goals so easily? The commentator was excitedly explaining Su Chen's goal. And the fans at the scene were even more boiling. They cheered and shouted Su Chen's name. The banner kept shaking. There are even some extreme fans shouting the name of the Westerner boss. It seems to be demonstrating with this, why should Su Chen sell such a good player? The game starts again. Biba, whose mentality collapsed, could no longer sink his mentality. They were eager to attack, trying to get a goal back before halftime was over. All it takes is one ball to get their lost morale back. However, with Su Chen's game on the field, where is it so simple? The failure of an attack is as long as the football is handed over to Su Chen's feet. Another threatening counterattack will soon follow. Shot after shot, although it was all parried by Biba's goalkeeper. However, the players of the whole team have been shocked into a cold sweat. As soon as Su Chen got the ball, they all panicked and became very nervous. Playing in such emotions, it is very bad for Biba. This results in the end of regular game time and the time of 2 minutes of overtime. They have given up attacking and kept the ball at their feet. Until a long whistle sounded, the first half of the game was over. The players from both teams all walked back to the aisle and went straight to the dressing room to rest. Dragon Kingdom Match Live Broadcast Room. The fans here are even more excited than the Westerners. It's so exciting, I really haven't found the Westerners game before, it will be so exciting. It's not that the Westerners' competition is wonderful, it's because the Westerners have Su Chen. The end of the first half was a difficult 45 minutes for Biba's players. Biba is really difficult. Every time they pass the ball to Su Chen's feet, they will become nervous. Alas, if only Su Chen could represent our Dragon Kingdom in battle. Didn't you watch the news? The boss of the Westerners, if he wants to sell Su Chen to cash out while the heat is hot, is there a team in the Chinese Super League that can win him down? Bought it back? Isn't there already news that Hengda has already made an offer? Westerners are thinking about it. Groove, wouldn't it? Su Chen won't really want to come to the Chinese Super League, right? Don't come back. If he comes back, it will really be ruined. Can't he stay abroad? Yes, although our country needs a player like Su Chen, we really don't want him to come back. Don't come back, stay abroad, the future will be brighter if you return to play football at home. That's the end of it. Which great god has Su Chen's details? Can you send me a copy? Concho Bar has already posted Su Chen's detailed information, go and find it yourself. Kenchio, right? I'll take a look. I'll take a look too. For a while, many fans took advantage of the halftime time. Go to see Su Chen's profile. For netizens in the Dragon Kingdom, I want them to find the details of a certain person. Even, it is not an exaggeration to say that even the information of 3 generations of that person can be dug up. Meanwhile, Su's father and mother, who are far away in England to talk about business. Although they did not return to Spain, they went to watch Su Chen's match live. However, they still watched the first half of the Westerners against Biba through live broadcasts. When the first half was just over, I saw Sumu sitting in the office with red eyes. "Oh, tell me about you, the kid is playing so well now. We should be happy, what do you say you cry about?" Father Su said with a deep frown. His name was Su Yuan and he was a businessman. Although it is not very large, it also covers the business district of several countries. In the countries of bullfighting, England, Pretty, and Maple Leaf, all have his estate. The opportunity to return home every year is very limited, and the time to spend with my son is even rarer. Nowadays, when they are in the live broadcast of the game, when I saw my son, I became the core of the team. Su Chenlong said to his wife with red eyes. But when he finished speaking, Sumu glanced at him. "And me? Aren't you the same? Alas, if we don't wait for this business to be completed. Let's go back to the bullfighting country first, and accompany our son well?" When the words fell, Su Long nodded with a serious face. Yes, this departure is another half a year, it's really time to go back to accompany Su Chen. Dang dang. Just when the two of them had just finished speaking, there was a knock on the door of the office. "Come in." The door opened, and I saw an 89-year-old, youthful and cute Asian girl walk in. "Uncle Su? Aunt Su? Why are you crying?" Episode 29, huh? "Is Xiaoshu here?" "It's okay, it's just the wind squinting." Su Yuan quickly turned his head and gently wiped his tears. Suddenly, the girl was slightly startled. "Huh? Uncle? Aunt? Is there wind in our office?" As soon as the words came out, Sumu burst out laughing directly. "Xiaoshu, come and sit here. Your uncle, I'm embarrassed to say that he actually misses our family dust. I just discussed with him, and I'm going to go back in the next 2 days. Accompany Xiaochen that child more. Alas, for so many years, I have been busy doing business outside, and I can rarely stay at home. Now, his career is also stable. I'm with your uncle, I'm going to go home for a while, and spend some time with him." When the words fell, the girl named Xiaoshu had a streamer in her eyes. He smiled and nodded. "That's right, uncle and aunt, I'll accompany you back together. After living in England for a long time, I really want to change places to relax." "Exactly, I heard that in the bullfighting country, the air is very fresh and the environment is good. It should be comfortable to stay there for a few days, right?" After Xiaoshu finished speaking, seeing Su's father and mother, they all looked at each other in surprise. "No, Xiaoshu, you followed us to the bullfighting country, so what should you do with your studies? Isn't it about to go to college?" "Oh, it's still a few months, I can't delay it, it's just a trip before school starts. Uncle and aunt, don't stop me. Moreover, I really want to see Su Chen. The last time I saw him, it was when I was 14 or 15. I haven't seen him in 3 or 4 years. I heard that he is playing in Westerners now, and I just went to watch him play." As soon as the words came out, Father Su and Mother Su all looked at each other, and both nodded with a smile. The girl's full name is Qin Shu, and her father is also a businessman, named Qin Jiangwo. But most of the business is in China. Moreover, Qin Jiangwo and Su Yuan have always had a good relationship. It is not only a cooperative partner, but also an old friend for decades. Therefore, there has always been a connection, this time in England. In fact, it is a cooperation between Qin Jiangwo and Su Yuan, who want to do a big business. Now the project has been negotiated and the funds are all in place. It doesn't make much sense for Su to stay here or not. Giving the project to Qin Jiangwo, he can also rest assured. "Okay, but you still have to talk to your dad about it. We have to get him to agree before we can take you away," Su Yuan said with a smile. "Oh, Uncle Su, it's just a phone call. If you don't believe me, let me call him personally, will you listen?" When the words fell, he saw Qin Shu take out the phone. In front of them, he called his father. Meanwhile, Espanyol on the field. The game is already in full swing for 85 minutes. The current score is fixed at 3-1. In the second half, Su Chen, once again, rushed all the way from the back to Biba's entry. Swung past 2 players in a row and scored the ball again. That time, the field erupted into huge cheers again. All the fans, all excited. And Biba took another opportunity to fight back and finally pried open the door of Diego's guard. Finally got a goal back for the team. Now, there are less than 5 minutes left until regular game time. The players of both teams are extremely physically exerting. Biba's entire team lost its fighting spirit. It can be seen that they are tired of attacking. Attack after attack did not produce much threat. On the contrary, after counterattacking, it will give Su Chen a chance. This seems to have left a huge shadow on their hearts. Seeing that the difficult game is coming to an end, they don't want to extend their lead in concessions. Just keep the score now, even if they already lose. Outcome. Right at this time, when a player from the Westerners passes the ball off the touchline, the fourth referee outside the field held up the sign of substitution. I saw two Westerners. After experiencing the warm-up, they were all waiting on the sidelines. Yo, the substitution adjustment of the Westerners actually replaced Su Chen again? It seems that Flores has not learned the lessons of the last game. After they replace Su Chen, they will have to pay a terrible price. Commenting on Yang Sen, he said with some surprise. Just as his words fell, Wang Xiang, who was his partner, smiled and shook his head. No, I have some other views on Flores' substitution. At present, for the Westerners, they can't wait to sell Su Chen and use him in exchange for more funds. This is a steady deal: sell Su Chen, get funds, and use it to buy more secure players. However, it is clear that the head coach of Westerners does not think so. So his substitution adjustment this time is on the premise of ensuring that Westerners can leave 3 points. Use the remaining 5 minutes, or 10 minutes, to prove how ugly the Westerners' game will become without Su Chen on the field. Of course, this is just my personal guess. What happens? Let's wait and see. After Wang Xiang explained, he saw the live broadcast screen. Su Chen has already walked back from the field and completed the substitution. When there was no longer Su Chen on the court, Biba's players all come with spirit. From the look in their eyes, it is not difficult to see. The Westerners without Su Chen are not enough to describe as tigers with teeth extracted. All of a sudden, they became Malay's sick cats. Soon, when the game resumed, Biba's attack became sharper. Their cooperation restored the tacit understanding of the opening scene. Even on the left and right roads, a flashpoint was formed, and the two fullbacks of the Westerners were all suddenly out of temper. Just when a cross is kicked and suspended high into the box, a tall center jumped up. Bang! Doodle! Pretty! Goal! One of Biba's counterattacks led to a direct goal. Immediately, all the fans were dumbfounded. Even Su Chen, who had just returned to the bench to sit down, was slightly startled. Only the head coach Flores on the sidelines had a meaningful chuckle on his face. Congratulations to the host for completing a match and obtaining the attribute Chest X1. Episode 30, Goal. 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 Nice counterattack. Nice head mallet. Biba's goal again put the Westerners in a passive situation. The score became 3-2, regular game time, less than 2 minutes left. If you count the extra time, there can be about 6 or 7 minutes. No one can guarantee it. In the remaining 6 or 7 minutes, can Biba still score a goal in the Westerners to tie the score? But, for sure, the Westerners without Su Chen have become second-rate or even third-rate teams. Neither offensive nor defensive is a threat. Now, there are even many fans who have the same idea as Flores. The Westerners without Su Chen still lost this game. Let the boss of the Westerners see what kind of consequences he will face after selling Su Chen. The game went on again, and Biba's counterattack became sharper. It even gives people the feeling that when Su Chen is on the field, they have been maintaining their physical strength and have not been consumed much. It wasn't until Su Chen left the field that they really launched an all-out attack. Attack after attack, kick and foot. Kicking the Westerners' goal to the point is full of holes, so that all the defenders are exhausted. There were even a few players who looked over to the bench from time to time. You can see the longing in their eyes. They need Su Chen, they need him on the field to fight with the whole team. However, it is clearly unlikely. All they can do now is grit their teeth and hold on for the remaining few minutes. Okay, now the game goes into extra time. Spaniards, you guys fight for some gas. Su Chen will bring you a score of 3-1. If you conceded 2 goals in a row in the remaining minutes, would it be worth Su Chen's efforts? The narrator sighed and said, if you change to the usual, the players they like will go off. Many fans will leave the live broadcast room because of this. However, this is not the case today. They remained in the live broadcast room, watching the game live. Even, each of them, every barrage, is hoping that Biba can equalize, or even overtake the score. Until the last moment of the game. That's what they're thinking. Doodle. When the referee's whistle blew, the game was finally over. The Westerners took away 3 valuable points from their home court with a score of 3-2. However, the remaining minutes of the game Let the Westerners fall into a passive defense, and almost did not be blasted open again by Biba. Obviously, this is also within the calculation of head coach Flores. The reason why he replaced Su Chen in that time period. It is to ensure that the score will not be overtaken. It can also let the people at the top of the club see what kind of team the Westerners without Su Chen are. Flores hopes to change the decision of the top in this way. Leave Su Chen behind. When the game is over, whether it's Westerner or Biba. The players of both teams did not show any joy. Instead, they were all very disappointed and walked back to the dressing room. This game made them all realize their shortcomings. Especially for Biba, they did not lose to the Spaniards. To be precise, they lost to Su Chen. Without Su Chen present, the defense of the Westerners was like a piece of paper. There is no defense capability at all. On the contrary, with Su Chen's Westerners, they did not dare to attack easily. Although Su Chen did not participate in the defense. However, they had to guard against Su Chen's counterattack. Therefore, they all have reservations, and do not dare to attack rashly. Until Su Chen came down, by Ba in his heart without any defense, as if he had unloaded a heavy burden. Let their offensive become sharper. Unfortunately, the remaining minutes did not allow them to equalize the score. Left with Seville's regrets. In the dressing room. The Espanyol players who won did not show any joy. All of them sat on their chairs, dejected. The remaining minutes of the game finally made them realize their shortcomings. In the face of Biba's bombardment, he almost didn't let the score be changed again. Even the opportunity to fight back, they can't do it. Winning like this is even more uncomfortable than losing. Flores walked into the dressing room and saw them in a heavy mood. Clapped his hands. All right, lads. You guys did a great job today and gave us another 3 points. Let's all change your clothes, take a shower, and go back to rest. You deserve a victory today. There is no excessive incentive. There was no criticism or praise. Flores only said a few words lightly. He turned around and walked out of the dressing room. The rest of the players looked at each other. A wry smile appeared on his face. They all understood what was going on in Flores' mind. Similarly, the Westerners seemed to be clearly aware of their own shortcomings. If you want the Westerners to go further, the only way to leave Su Chen behind. But, is this possible? Okay. Anyway, we all won today, didn't we? Don't be so upset, let's all go to the shower. After taking a shower, go home and rest. Continue training tomorrow. Our next matches, respectively, Atletico, Bar and Girona. In addition to Atletico, Girona, and Poli, we will all win the matches. Only then will you have a chance to enter the European war. It was at this moment that Captain Diego got up. Smiled and said a few words to the players. Until this moment. They all got up and got ready to take a shower. Night. Catalonia. The whole city looks extremely depressed. There is no carnival after the team wins, and there is no after seeing those games in bars and restaurants. Those excited fans discuss the scene of the game. It seems that everyone has reached a certain tacit understanding. Let Catalonia fall into a silent and eerie night.